Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, Angus Gibson is considered the father of cinema in SA. Since 1985, he's produced award-winning movies, series and documentaries that have transformed the aesthetic of television in the South African context. Here, he's co-produced TV hit series like Yizo Yizo and Zone 14, just to name a few, and he's played a major role in launching the careers of some of the most acclaimed storytellers in the industry. And today, he's here to share his wealth of knowledge of the film industry. Welcome to The Loft, Angus.
I'm very happy to be here, thank you.
I feel so privileged, and I believe on this couch we never have anything other than the best. So today we've got one of the best directors, one of the best producers that South Africa has to offer. I mean, have you always wanted to be a storyteller?
When I was 17, I went to see a movie, which was an Italian movie called The Passenger. And I was studying economics at the time, and I walked out that movie and I thought, I'm going to make movies.
Wow.
And I kind of imagined that I would do feature films. And I'd been on many journeys, but in fact, I'm just making my first feature film now. All the way it's been sort of documentary and television and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of fulfilling what I originally set out to do now, kind of
so many years ago.
More than 40 years later, yeah.
I think that's such a beautiful story and a beautiful turnaround moment, because it's sometimes in the journey that we're able to achieve everything that we've wished to achieve. I know that you've placed special attention and focus in South African history and telling those stories. I mean, as a South African, we have a very tumultuous past with very high highs but very low lows. But you've stayed true in telling those stories in the most authentic way possible. What is so important? Why was it so important for you to tell the stories in the way that you have?
Well, I went to school sort of in the perfect apartheid moment, in the sense that things were entirely separated. And I kind of was given a very slim view of what South Africa was. And that particular view did not interest me. And when I got beyond school and I was sort of able to engage with a broader South Africa, I had a huge thirst and a sort of knowledge to find out about the things that apartheid had kind of hidden away from me. So I quite obsessively started just trying to find out about our history and about what was going on. And so everything I've done has always been rooted in that, in my experience of being a South African, and in just trying to tell stories about this place that I love.
And not only do we love the country that we live in, but the way in which you do tell your stories and the way you communicate each character is so unique. And I love the fact that you believe in collaborative efforts. So you're not only going to stand up and dictate, but you're asking for input, you're collaborating with different people. And not only that, but you're making superstars out of the actors that are behind each character. How do you go about deciding who to work with, who not to work with, and how to shape whichever project you're working on?
So I meet with a lot of people all the time, and I'm curious for any kind of talent. And I suppose I think I have an eye for talent, and I am by nature a collaborator. I'm not an auteur director that wants to sort of control everything. I want to make a platform, and I want people to be able to do great work on that platform. And so that is my pleasure, is like being part of a collective that is doing great things together.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly meeting people. I'm constantly finding people with incredible ideas and incredible talents.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you to name names. Who have been some of the highlights in terms of your collaborations that you've kind of drawn so much from and grown as a director?
Well, I mean, William Kentridge is a very close friend, the artist, that is.
Yes.
But, I mean, Tebogo Matlatsi, he and I, he came in as an intern when I was working as in this cooperative called Free Filmmakers. And it was clear to me immediately that we had similar sensibility, our interests were similar, and we kind of were able to kind of put our heads together and do great things. And there have been many people since then. You know, on the project now, Richard was a big impetus for me. In fact, you know, there were times that I was thinking, you know, I'm too busy on other things. I'm going to put aside this feature. But Richard kind of had a clear vision, and I'd worked with him briefly, and we had had such fun, and we had created such a great character in that brief moment that I knew if we worked together again, we would do great things. So it's happening all the time with me.
I do appreciate that, and I appreciate the fact that you have people in your corner, like Richard, who entice you and encourage you to finish what you started, because the rest of us as South Africa can enjoy it. Thank you so much for coming through.
Okay, great pleasure.
I want to find out more about Back of the Moon shortly. Thank you.
Okay.